Well, hello. How are you doing today? I hope that you're doing well. So I've been asked to cover a little bit how the different personality types work together within a team. And so this applies whether you're part of a team, you have a team or some employees working with you, under you, you're responsible for them, or even if you are kind of doing your own thing, working on your own, you can begin to see, hey, how do I connect with other people? What do I need to pull in and surround myself with? Who do I need to surround myself with in order to help me to be able to be successful in what I want to try to accomplish? And so today we're just going to go through and look at what is the best fit and flow for the different personality types within a team, and how do they each operate best. So let me share my screen here. So first of all, we're looking at team personality, or the different personality styles within a team, and how each and every style and person is valuable, is important. And when we combine and collaborate with these different styles and abilities, that things work out so much better, that there's a lot more happening. And so everyone has at least a little piece of all the different styles within themselves, but there's a couple main styles that will come to the forefront in each person and their unique combination, and allowing each person and tapping into that ability, those natural strengths are what's going to work out the best. So, with team and personalities together, everyone achieves more. And I know it's a little acronym, but that's it. When you can begin to collaborate and work together, obviously you see the best results. And so the big thing we are looking at when we are talking about personality is not not necessarily skill, not how smart you are, but we are looking at what is energizing to individuals, what is energizing to you, what is energizing to the other people on your team. So you'll find things that when you're involved with those responsibilities, when you're involved with that side of a project, or you're involved with work in general, or those areas in general, that you are energized. For other people, there's other specific areas that is energizing to them. And so the more that you can be involved in these areas, and the more that you can have the people around you involved in the areas that are energizing to them, the better results you're going to have, the more you're going to accomplish, the more engaged they will be, happier they will be, the happier you will be in that. And you have the flip side as well. When you're involved in responsibilities or tasks that aren't energizing to you, you become de-energized, right? And it begins to remove your emotional, your mental, and ultimately your physical energy. And so working with things and positioning people in areas that is energizing to them will be the best, because they'll just continue to be motivated, energized, and producing in that area. And secondly, we are looking at what is generated. And so each of us generate things very naturally, and the more that we can be involved in responsibilities where we can generate the things naturally that we already do, or that we can be involved in generating in those areas, not only again is that energizing, but that produces the best results, the best things are generated. And so we're not just looking at, hey, you can or can't do this, you have this ability, you don't. It's like, what is energizing to the person, what continues to fill up their energy, and so they can continue to generate easily and the best for the team, for the task at hand, for the project, for the company. And again, if you're an individual working on your own, finding out, hey, what things when I'm involved in, is it energizing to me? What do I generate well? And then who do I need to connect with in order to, help fill in some of these areas that I don't generate so well and that I'm not energized in. And so let's look at the brainstorming and ideation side. Let's start there because, you know, whether it's a product or a project, whatever it is, you always need this brainstorming, this idea. What are we going to do? How are we going to approach this? And when you bring in the creator and the advancer, the creator being, if you look at the disc, the D style, and the advancer being the I style, when they are involved in the brainstorming and ideation, the creator is generating and bringing vision, and they're energized by that. They're able to see all the potential, to see the big picture, what is coming, as well as the advancer is full of a bunch of ideas. They're very optimistic, and there's a lot of potential they're seeing as well. So in the brainstorming and ideation phase, if the creators and the advancers can come together and begin to throw ideas back and forth and begin to look at what's possible, what could be done, these are a bunch of different options. Of course, if you are talking too long, the creator will begin to become frustrated because they will ultimately then look to shift it over to action, as well as the advancer. If they don't get a chance to share some of their ideas, they'll become frustrated as well. So it's creating that balance, but bringing the creator and the advancer in and saying, hey, let's brainstorm, let's get some ideas together, how we need to move forward. That is going to awaken the strengths of vision and ideas within these two. If you have a refiner involved in the brainstorming and ideation, which is the C on the disc, they are going to throw up a lot of red flags. So I don't know if you've had anybody in your team when you're just throwing around a bunch of ideas, they are looking and seeing potential problems with everything. And so, you know, they're raising their hand and saying, hey, this we'll have a problem there, and we'll have a problem there, and there could be a problem there. And that could be a little frustrating. And so a lot of times it's better in the brainstorming and ideation, because of the strength the refiner brings, and we'll look at that later, but to have them involved in all the potential ideas that you are throwing around, they begin to generate red flags, which it frustrates them and frustrates the creator and the advancer as well, and your ideation process. And so maybe either, you know, don't have them involved as much in the brainstorming and ideation, or they will have to say, hey, you know, I need to just be quiet for a little bit. But as they're sitting there and listening to all these ideas and not able to share the potential problems that they are seeing, that also can be de-energizing to them. So a lot of times it's better to have the creators and the advancers together on that. So if you're working on your own and you're creator or advancer, you'll have a bunch of ideas. If you happen to be a refiner, you may need to find a creator and an advancer connect to have some brainstorming for you, with you, and to look at that, maybe coach you through that. As well as if you bring in the executors, and they're the S in the disc, on the disc layout, they will be experiencing and generating overwhelm in the brainstorming and ideation stage. And so all these possibilities and potentials that we're not actually going to act on in the end, they're looking to say, hey, give me something we can act on. And so they are experiencing overwhelm. And so again, it's probably better to leave them out and bring the creator and the advancers together in the brainstorming and ideation. So as you move forward and you're utilizing the creator and the advancers, or the people who are very strong in those styles, you're having the vision and the ideas, it's great for them then to take all those ideas and to narrow it down into, you know, one or two, a smaller focus point. And we can say, hey, this is kind of the area we are going to go. This is what we are going to move in. From that point, you can begin to push that idea, or those one or, you know, two ideas, that smaller, instead of the 1,000 ideas, the smaller ideas you can push to the refiners, and they will begin to produce quality and problem avoidance. And so instead of having them in the beginning part of the brainstorming and ideation, where there's 1,000 ideas floating around, you've narrowed it down now between the creators and advancers, and saying, the creators beginning to say, let's take action. What can we take action on? Here's a smaller grouping. Sending that to the refiner, they'll begin to say, hey, we can produce quality here. Here's problems that are coming down the line. Here's potential problems. And so they'll begin to see where you can up the quality and avoid problems. If the executors are involved in the stage, a strong executor, S style, they will be experiencing frustration. And so again, this is an energy drain, because now there's some potential. It's not 1,000 ideas. We have a smaller group, but we're still now saying, hey, we need to get the things right. We need to be precise. These are some potential issues, and that's not their sweet spot either. That's not what they're energized by. And so again, in this small phase, it's probably better for the high executors to not be involved in this stage. So as you move on then from this ideation and brainstorming, you've sent your smaller grouping to the refiners to look at quality, to see where you can bring the quality and excellence and eliminate problems. They are going to then produce recommendations for adjustments, and they'll see, hey, rather than just red flagging everything, they can begin to say, hey, here's the potential problems. This is what we should look at, and should push it back then to the creator and advancers and say, okay, we took your ideas. This is what we found. These are the potential problems that could come out. Here's where we could avoid that. This is what we could shift or change. And then when that's pushed back, the creators begin to generate action and results. They begin to look on, all right, we can push this forward. We can adjust here. We can change our approach a little bit so that we aren't having these losses. We're not having these mistakes or failures, and we can begin to generate action and results moving forward. As well as the advancers. Sorry, my son came in here. Okay. As well as the advancers, they begin to then generate communication and belief. So now that we know what we adjusted and how we're moving forward, they generate communication and belief. What does that look like in the implementation stage? Suddenly the project moves into the middle. The creators begin to drive the team, the company, the project, the product, whatever it is, action and results. The advancer begins to communicate and create communication within the company as well. Communication among each other. This is what we're doing, advancing the ideas and creating belief and optimism, knowing that we can do it and accomplish it, as well as their strength is they begin to generate external communication to the world around you, to the people around you, to your industry who needs to hear about what you're doing, what you're bringing out, what you're accomplishing, and they begin to believe in what is coming as well. In that stage, that begins to then push to the refiner as the creators begin to drive action and generate action and results. The refiners are able to then step in and say, okay, we can add systems, we can add processes, we can add excellence to this picture. What is going to happen next? And so they are energized by this and begin to generate these systems, these processes, and excellence. And again, so you're going from brainstorming, ideation, 1,000 ideas, those personality styles who are strong in that, they're energized by that, they're throwing that around. Then you're shrinking it down because some of the other styles who you need in order to accomplish things, great things, they're overwhelmed or de-energized by that. You're shrinking that down, moving it to the refiners, allowing them to see quality issues, avoid mistakes and loss, push it back where the creators and advancers can begin to generate action and results, generate communication and belief. And then that moves it and empowers the refiners to create systems, processes, and excellence so that things can be can continue to move forward and be accomplished, right? And the creators are seeing those actions and results accomplished. As the refiner has begun to see and generate systems, processes, and the excellence there, when that's moved back into the company or into the project, into the team, it then empowers the executors to show up and generate teamwork, stability, and completion. And it gives them something to work with and accomplish. It empowers them to show up and do what they do best, to work together, to stabilize a lot of flex and fluctuation, and to make sure things are followed through and completed. And, that's where you're not stuck just with ideas, just with brainstorming, just with systems and processes, but the strong executors are coming in and saying, hey, we are going to follow through on this, and we are going to bring completion. And so each one of these brings strength. And of course, as the executor is empowered with these systems and processes, and with, not only what are we doing, but how we are going to do it, they push it back into the team, into the project, into the company, and you see completion on all those things. From there, when you have all four of these styles contributing, they're energized, they're engaged, they're generating, and what they generate best, bringing that excellence, the results, the communication, belief, the teamwork, the completion, all that together, you're pushing up into the ultimate team achievement, where you're achieving more, you're accomplishing things, you're hitting your goals and what's in front of you. And so again, when you're an individual trying to accomplish a task, or you're working on your own, find out, hey, where am I on here? Where is my personality, style, and strength? And then how do I connect with other people that can bring drive and generate some action and results, if you're not a creator? Or how can I connect to someone who will bring communication and belief to the world around me, and what I'm trying to bring my service or my product to? If you're not an advancer, if you're not a refiner, where's who can bring seeing potential mistakes or potential problems, and bringing systems and processes and some excellence to what I'm doing? Or if you're not an executor, where can I find someone who can see, how do we stabilize this? How do we bring this to completion? How do we walk through into the end, and not just be a starter, but how do we become a finisher? Or can they step in and accomplish some of these, finish some of the ideas that you have, which would actually be some of the best for you as well. So hope that helped. Remember, we are looking at what is energizing, what energizes the different styles, which means they can engage better, they can produce better, they're showing up 100% feeling good about themselves, or feeling valued and honored, and they feel like they fit in the team and can really bring their value and their best to the team. And then what is being generated by each personality style, generated naturally with the least amount of energy and focus on it, because you can ultimately get the best out of that, right? And so again, what is energizing and generated? This is not an IQ ability, it's not how smart or dumb you are or the rest of your team, but when you really value them and want each person to feel valuable and engaged, as well as yourself. These are great areas to look at. And so finally, if you want to say, hey, well, I want to understand what my personality style is, or, I want to check out some of my team members, or let's have some coaching and position and find out what are some great responsibilities. How can I empower my different team members, employees, to be their best, to engage in these areas and create this strong workflow where people are generating in their style? You can go to jasontweaver.com. There's a couple options there, from personality assessments to some coaching and some design positioning for your team, and you can book something there. So I hope this was empowering for you today. And let me stop sharing my screen. So if you have any questions or thoughts, you can drop it in the comment, let me know. I'll definitely be happy to answer some of those questions. And so enjoy.